I got a patron request from Diver, who wanted me to review a British film titled Fisherman's Friends. I admit this film was not on my radar before I was sent this request, but it was released in the UK in 2019, and it apparently did decent business, and was eventually given a VOD release in North America, courtesy of Samuel Goldwyn Films. The movie is inspired by a real folk music group from Cornwall, and is a heavily fictionalized account of how they got a record deal. Despite the title, a lot of the focus is actually on the fictional music executive who tries to jumpstart their career, and that was actually one of my main problems with the film. This is very much in the vein of movies like Local Hero, where someone from the city winds up in a small town. Quite a number of good films have followed this plotline. However, watching Fisherman's Friends made me think about how these movies tend to exaggerate the storyline. I feel like most city people would not have that hard a time adapting to small town customs, but these kinds of movies exaggerate things for the sake of comedy. This film has a number of scenes where the lead character and his co-workers become confused by aspects of this Cornish town, like one-way roads. Are you really telling me they don't have one-way roads in London? This being the sort of thing running through my head should tell you I had a hard time getting invested in Fisherman's Friends. It's not a bad movie, as its heart is in the right place, and I did buy into the lead character Danny eventually becoming enamored with the people of Cornwall. But the story is played incredibly safe. It's clearly trying to be this heartwarming tale of the underdog, but the emotions do not quite work for me. The other major problem with the film is I never felt like I truly got to know the members of this singing group. The movie is so focused on Danny and his budding romance with one of the residents of this town that they're sort of pushed to the side. Quite a few members even merged together in my mind. The movie just did not properly explore why their sea shanties became such a sensation in England, so it becomes difficult to care about the outcome. The movie has a lot of contrivances that added to the artificial nature of the storytelling. One plot point that bothered me was when the group and Danny's new girlfriend have the expected falling out in the third act. You think it's going to pull the liar revealed story device, which I would have been fine with since that's what the first act is clearly setting up. Instead, they get angry at Danny for an entirely different and absurd reason, and it came across as a forced way to separate the characters for a bit. Something I'll give the film credit for is how it portrays the small town life, and how the characters know each other, and their familial bond does come through. I actually would have been content with just following the Fisherman's Friends around, without the music exec character. However, the movie only bothers to give proper character traits to 3 of them. The acting is also quite good. Fisherman's Friends just sort of meanders along, and feels like it's checking off all the boxes for this sort of movie. If you've seen any other movie about a manager trying to launch a music group he believes in, but everyone else is skeptical of, then you've seen this film. And honestly, the predictable nature of the story and the path it goes down is not the issue. A lot of really good and even great films follow the same plot threads and storytelling devices as other movies of their ilk. What matters is the execution, and the execution of Fisherman's Friends and its lack of proper character development is what bothered me. The film is constantly telling me this music group is great and talented, and yes, they do a nice job of singing these sea shanties. But what do they have that other folk music groups don't? That's what the movie fails to tell me. I hate that I'm knocking this film so much, because it's clearly made by people with an appreciation for the Fisherman's Friends and a desire to bring them to a wider audience. The intent was to be a crowd pleaser, and the film served that function in the United Kingdom, enough that a sequel has recently begun filming and supposedly involves the characters going to Australia. If you've seen Fisherman's Friends, let me know what you think in the comments, and thank you for the request, Diver.